Well, welcome everybody who's joining us. Thank you so much for spending Saturday afternoon or whatever time it is for you guys with the INA board. We're really grateful that you're here. We had a good amount of people that are wanting to come to our Zoom town hall today. So my name is Marcia Hall. I'm the executive director of the International Nanny Association. I'm just kind of leading the discussion today. We've got several board members here and they're going to introduce themselves in just a second. I'll say these rules a couple times because I know people will join us as they come in, but we're going to ask everybody to stay muted for now since we've got a larger group. And then if you have a question, there is like a way to raise your hand or write in the chat bar, and I'll keep an eye on both of those things. Today's goal is really to just talk about the future of INA Zoom town halls. This is kind of a new thing for us. We've been doing town halls for several years, but we've been doing it on Facebook, and the board decided that we wanted to, move into the virtual video world with it. And on top of moving it to Zoom, we're actually going to start doing it every month, which is exciting. We used to do it about every 2 to 3 months. So that's exciting. We're going to talk a little bit about like what kind of topics you guys want to see on a Zoom town hall, as well as what are some good times for you. And then, we'll answer questions about events and things that are going on just like normal. So I am going to start with having our board introduce themselves. And Helen, you're the one that's showing up first on my screen. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself first? You will have to unmute yourself.
Hi, I'm Helen McCarthy. I'm on the board of directors. I was the INA Nanny of the Year in 2016 in London, the United Kingdom. So I am not from the US, as you can tell. I work as a full-time nanny. I have nanny kids aged 8, 6, twins of 20 months and a newborn due at the end of November. So it'll be 5 of them and just me. So yeah, and that's about me.
Excellent. Emily, I see you next on my screen.
Hi, I am Emily Rowland. I'm a new board member. I chair the exam committee and co-chair with Sue for Nanny of the Year committee now. And I have nanny kids age 5 and 3. And then TNC keeps me busy the other part of the time too. So busy. Glad to see you all.
Excellent. Greta, I see you next.
Great. Hi, I'm Greta Schreier, and I have an agency here in Cincinnati, Ohio called Cincy Nanny. I'm also a former Nanny of the Year in 2010. I have been on the board for a cumulative about 7 years. Took a break in there while having my own kids. And I co-chair it just changed, so I had to like write it down and make sure I remember. Conference agency track, business membership support, and then I chair the Meritorious Service Award committee.
Excellent. Sue, I see you next as my next board member on the list. So we'll introduce board members and then we'll go back and everybody else can introduce themselves if that's all right.
Hi, I'm Sue and I'm a nanny in Philadelphia area for a 9 and a 5-year-old. Been with them since they were infants. And I'm a new board member and I'm on a couple of different committees. I've been working on the mentorship committee since before I joined the board, the nanny mentorship program, and then also working on the diversity committee and marketing and nanny of the year. So that's me.
Excellent. Krista, I see you on my screen next.
There, I had to unmute. Hi, I'm Krista. I'm very humid today. I won't be able to stay the whole time, unfortunately, but it's good to see you all. I am a co-chair on the business membership support and the diversity committee as well. I didn't write down what else. And because it just changed. What's that? Oh yeah, I'm in the middle. Yeah, I guess thanks. Thanks, Marcia. Marcia's like, this is your job. So I literally just came in from a dog walk for an hour in the heat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock. So yeah, so that's what I do. And I've been on the board just for a year and was a member of INA since the end of 2016 or 15, I should say. Yeah, the end December there. So basically 2016. So, but yeah, it's good to see everybody. I hope you're all feeling safe and well and healthy. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Okay, so Rachel just popped up and she popped up before everybody else. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Rachel, you look like you are in a place I want to be right now. You have to share with us where you are.
Yeah, sorry if there's wind or wind noise. Yeah, and I just drove down to the beach in Galveston. It's really actually not a nice beach. I think the background probably hypes it up more than it is. Yeah, so I'm Rachel, and I've been on the board of directors. This is my 4th year now. And I've typically worked on conference things and done some marketing stuff in the past. And I currently serve as secretary. And yeah, I think that covers it for now. Was there an additional question I didn't get from the beginning?
Nope, that was just it. We're just kind of a general introduction this time. We've got a good number of people. We've actually got 20 people on right now. So right now what we're doing is introducing the board members that are on, and then we're going to go back and have everybody else that's here just kind of give us a brief introduction of themselves too. So the next person I see on the board is, oh, everybody just moved around now. Like everything moved around. Is there any other board members? I see Kate Matievich, who is not on the board, but she is a chair of one of our committees. So I'm going to have her introduce herself first. Kate, are you there?
Hi, everyone. Yep, Kate Matievich from Chicago. I would turn my photo on, but I'm driving in the car. Well, I'm not actually driving, but I would probably make everyone sick with all the movement. So Kate Matievich from Chicago. I chair the ambassador program, which we are so excited to be launching chapters this year. And we're nearing the end of our process with selecting the new representatives. So hopefully we'll be sharing that very soon. And I'm a nanny and estate manager in the local area.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so I am just gonna go in order of who I see on my screen. And the first person I see is Jacqueline Williams. Would you like to just kind of let us know, obviously your name is Jacqueline Williams, but where you're from, what you do in the industry, and maybe if there's something else that you wanna share quick too.
Sure. You can call me Jackie. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm the owner of a Mother's Prayer placement. We've been in business for about 4 years.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here, Jackie. And I actually see that Laura, our president, just joined us. Laura Schroeder, do you want to introduce yourself real fast? Are you in a place that you can do that? I know she's on vacation this week, so.
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Joining us from somewhere nice. Yeah, we can hear you, Laura.
Yes, I'm actually, it's not nice. I'm on the road.
Not yet.
I'm driving to vacation, but I'm on my way to vacation for my 34th wedding anniversary tomorrow. So just wanted to check in and say hi and welcome to everybody who joined us. How many do we have on, Marcia?
We have 23 right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Okay, well, so go ahead. Oh, sorry, Laura.
I'm going to listen in.
All right, awesome. So I'm just kind of going through an order of who I see. If you could just say your name, what you do in the industry, something else interesting if you want. Is it Mechis?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Meche Rosales Mopin. And I am a nanny for the past 15 years of my life here in New York City. And I'm excited to be here because I've been part of the INA for a long time, and I'm happy to be here and learn more from you guys. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to truly apologize if I just butcher names. I'm really horrible at that kind of thing. So I apologize if I get it. So the next person that I see is Taughey, Taughey. I think you're mute.
You're muted.
Oh, there you go.
I did unmute myself. You can hear me now? I'm a nanny in Connecticut, and I've not been to a town hall before, and I thought I'll join one and see what's about. So, and I just got done playing tennis, so I'm just not in a great state-wise as far as just being calm and collected. So I just, anyway, it's a good thing, you guys, I can't unsmell myself. So.
Well, thank you so much for being on. Anna Felina, I see you next. Anna, you're muted.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. Here is already 7, so I had already dinner. I'm in Switzerland, as most of you know. I'm from Portugal. I've been a member from the INA ages for a few years, and some of you know me also as one of the ambassadors from the ambassador team. So I'm very happy to see you all anytime you make the town hall. It's a very nice opportunity for us to see and talk about the association. I'm very excited. Thank you so much. I can't wait for the next conference in person.
I think we all are excited about that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice
okay,
to see you all.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, Anna. Thank you. Sherry, I see you next.
All right, I'm Sherry Rose Maley. Sherry Rose is my first name, and I'm in San Jose, California. I'm a new member of INA. I just joined in May, and I've been working with young children for 18 years, mostly as a preschool teacher and director, but in June, I am now, as of June, a full-time nanny for a 4-month-old and a 3-year-old.
Excellent. Oh. All right, Sandi. Sorry again if I.
Hi, Sade. It's okay.
Sade, okay.
So I'm based here in Dallas, Texas. That's where headquarters. I own and operate Salah Respite Care. We give nanny services to children and adults with autism. So we're here in Dallas, we're in San Antonio, Houston, and Austin, and we have some clients up in New York.
Excellent. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm going to be horrible at this one. I'm sorry. Hesfibaza? H-E-P-H D-I-B-I-A-H. Are you there? You want to say hi? Oh, you're still mute. Oh, are you there? Oh, it says you're unmuted, but I can't hear you for some reason. All right. Well, you know what? Are you there? All right. Well, we're going to come back. I see somebody named Lisa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Deboyne Murray. I'm in the Baltimore, Maryland area. I service the Austin, Texas, and Baltimore, DC, Northern Virginia areas. I own a nanny placement agency called Nannies from the Heart, which is a sister company of Duchess Nannies and Domestics. So I'm happy to be here, happy to see everyone. Hope everyone is staying safe.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Rima.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rima Hyson, and I'm a new owner of Stanford Park Nannies Agency in the Peninsula, San Francisco Peninsula and South Bay. I have inherited this spot from Daryl Camarillo, who is my mentor and a friend. So new to the industry, this is my very first time. Please say hi. Would like to become very regular to these wonderful meetings, and I'm looking forward to have a wonderful relationship.
Excellent. Oh, I'm so excited. So many people are. We've got 26 people here now. All right. Now, again, Hasfiba, if you are able to talk, and if not, maybe you could let us know who you are in the chat bar. For some reason, we can't seem to hear you. but we would like to get to know you and also understand how to pronounce your name. I apologize. Daniel Butcher. Would you like to say hi, Daniel?
You pronounced it perfect. Oh, that is my name. We're just saying who we are. I was a nanny for about 10 years, male nanny, if you hadn't guessed. And then I started my agent's nannies about 5 years ago, just to kind of address the gender inequality. And then I created a gender-neutral agency to run alongside that. And since COVID, I have kind of pivoted more into nanny and NCS and doula and agency web design, just because I need to be busy. That's pretty much me. I live in Los Angeles with my fiance and my dog, and just healthy over here.
Awesome. Welcome, Daniel. Donna.
Donna Davis, me?
Yep, Donna Davis, yep.
Hi, I'm from the Philadelphia area. Not sure what your question was, like what are you doing? Is that it?
Just who you are, what you do in the industry, if there's anything interesting else that you want to share with us about you.
Okay. I'm working part-time in preschool, and then I work as a nanny 2 days, part-time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Susan.
Hi, this is Susan Eyrig, and I'm in Southern California. I purchased TLC Domestic Agency about 3 years ago. It has been in existence here in Orange County since 1983. And so I inherited a nice, group of candidates and clients, and we've just kind of continued to move forward. I noticed the prior owner wasn't involved in really any of the industry associations, and I was happy to discover this this association, and I look forward to participating more in it.
Excellent, thank you. All right, Nancy Dietrich.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'm Nancy Veach. I'm in Morehead City, North Carolina on the coast. I've had my business for almost 30 years now and been a member of INA for almost that long as well. We service primarily vacationers that come to the beach area, so this year's been a little rough. We haven't had our normal season. But anyway, very happy to be here and participating with people from around the world.
Wonderful. Kelly Gears.
Oh, hold on one second. Let me see. How do I get? Somebody else is here with me too.
Oh, we want to say hi to both of you.
Oh, there you go. Yay! Jocelyn's here too. Karen's taking a nap. So we are doing a girls' weekend up in the Poconos, and this popped up on my alerts, so just had to pop in and say hey. And I am, to answer your question, I am a house manager in Potomac, Maryland.
Excellent. How about Jocelyn?
Jocelyn.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn, and I'm a nanny and newborn care specialist in Washington, D.C.
Excellent. Thanks, ladies, for joining us on your vacation.
Yeah, thanks. Yay. Enjoy, have fun.
All right. Dr. DJ Singe is my next person. You there? You're muted. I have a couple of other people on the phone too that don't show up their names. So one of them starts with a 971 if you want to introduce yourself, and the other one with a 347 if you want to introduce yourself. You certainly don't have to introduce yourself. Nobody is required to. We just want to make sure that you have the chance to say hi, and we get to say hi to you personally. I'm just looking through to make sure nobody else popped up. that I didn't get to. Okay, so if you for some reason didn't get to introduce yourself, or if you had something else that you wanted to say, we're going to ask you guys if you have any questions, so you're welcome to share that a little bit more later. But like I said at the beginning, what we're kind of, our goal for this Zoom town hall is to sort of get your ideas on what future Zoom town halls might look like. We've had town halls for a while. We had one previous Zoom town hall that was actually set at a time that was most appropriate for those of you in Australia or in India or anyone else, Asia kind of area. So it was in the middle of the night for a lot of people in the US and in Europe. So we're doing this at a time that's more appropriate. Our goal is basically to have these once a month now, and move different time zones. Like we want them at different times a day, different times of the week. We want to kind of hit every single good time for different people throughout the year. But we also, let's start out with what kind of topics you guys would want to discuss. So if you have an idea of a topic that you'd like to discuss, not necessarily today, because we can't get to everything in an hour and a half, but if there are some bigger topics that you think that we should sort of like just have a frank conversation about. These are not trainings. You're welcome to give us ideas for trainings, because we do webinars and that too. But this is specifically geared for what discussions we want to see at our town hall. So go ahead and I think that we could probably, unless this becomes a problem, I'm just going to say, unmute yourself and start talking. And if it becomes like everybody's talking at once, then I'll have you raise your hand or something. Try not to be too much like a teacher today. Anyone have any thoughts on what topics you'd like to see discussed at a time?
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead, Anna.
Okay, thank you. One of the things, because I have not a business, I notice, for instance, as a member of the association, that sometimes the individual nannies are not so heard. And I think we need to have more voice as individuals and not as a business. And also another thing I notice is, where is our profession, nanny, is really being taken care. I see in the sense that we are still not knowing where is our position. Are we educators or are we not educators? Are we housekeepers or are we educators? And I think I love your monthly report. I love it. This is what keeps me in the association, is the board and your commitment, and I really appreciate that, your time. You are fantastic. You are professionals. You are persons who know what you are doing, but at the same time, as a person who is a little bit distant from the board, from all these things, I sometimes wonder, where is our profession really being taken care? And I think at least the COVID came to bring a little bit more awareness that we are a little bit lost. This is my feeling. What are we after all? What is our associations doing for the nanny profession? I don't mean nanny agencies. I don't mean, so sorry, with all respect. I don't mean business from this or from that. I mean the nanny profession. What are we doing with our profession? That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other thoughts, ideas?
I would like to chime in.
Yes.
I think, so I'm a doctor of psychology, so I work a lot with the autism community, and the numbers are really going up. So I would like to see more topics about nanny services for kids with disabilities. Even though we're here, we can't saturate that market. But sometimes we're coming in contact with parents that have had other nanny agencies or nannies that they find on like care.com, and they're being discriminated against because of their where they're at on the spectrum. So kind of linking and the connect with how to handle parents that have disabilities and what that means for the nannies as far as training and development, and what that looks like on just not a local scale but a global scale as we're intaking these very young. Just in the U.S. alone, 5 out of 7 kids born between the ages between 2017 all the way to 2025, 5 out of 7 of them will have some type of disability. That's what the projection is. So we're going to see more children with autism and all these other different neurological and developmental disorders. Thank you.
Yeah, just to clarify really quick, do you see that topic as something that you'd like to see like more webinars, more training on, like from a professional, or are you saying a group of us getting together to discuss the topic of, you know, how to work with children with disabilities, just in an informal way like this?
I think it should be both. I mean,
Okay.
because some people, you know, I'm not saying like if you have an agency or if you're a nanny, you have to take children with disabilities. It's just, I guess kind of creating a script other than we don't have the capability to take care of your kids, or it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because we're having a lot of parents that can afford a nanny, but they're suffering because they can't find one. So we always have a code where if we can't service a client, we give them resources, and we give them a referral. So you guys can always refer to us or to any other agency. I don't know, as far as the U.S., it's only us, but I'm sure overseas there are other agencies that deal with children with disabilities. And as far as like the webinars and trainings, I would love to be a part of that, but I know that there are other innovators in the field that can give some webinars and some trainings on how to deal with children with disabilities.
I kind of like the idea of having, I mean, training is good. Obviously, we would continue whatever training, and I'm sure that those people that have been working so hard on the webinar and the education committee work really hard to, you know, special needs is definitely a topic that they look for. They're looking for trainers. But the idea of, instead of it being like a trainer, like you have a professional, it's just a kind of an informal conversation between all of us on this topic, and sharing our own experiences, like my experiences with special needs kids, my experience with my son who has ADHD, you know, those kind of things, and we just kind of gleaning from each other. I like that idea. It's interesting.
Yeah, and kind of
everybody else think of that.
So if you we have a community where you can have like a community of people, or, you know, 1 or 2 people that if you are faced with a situation you don't know how to handle it, instead of kind of trying to figure it out on your own, having someone to bounce ideas off of as far as how to handle certain situations and things.
To have that community to like just have that conversation about that specific topic.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. That was a good idea. I'm going to write that down. Anyone else, while I'm writing this down, have any thoughts, any topics that you think would be particularly, again, interesting to discuss in an informal way like this between professionals? Like I said, I think we just had Mara just joined us. And Mara, we have already introduced ourselves, but if you want to take a second to introduce yourself real quick, and then we can move back into having a conversation about.
Sorry,
There you go, Mara.
In another meeting, so I'm late for this, but I'm glad that I can catch up with you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. And now I'm listening. Thank you.
Thanks, Mara. So right now we're just sharing ideas, like brainstorming maybe some different topics that we could look at for the future. Feel free to jump in with that. I just, you know, as I'm trying to kind of put together a calendar, do you guys feel like it would be valuable to have a month where we have the topic of one of our committees, like, you know, just the education committee or just the exam committee or just the nanny of the year committee, where we kind of focus on not only sharing with you what the board is doing in those committees, but kind of getting ideas from you guys to help us, to help the board and the staff think outside our own box. Is that something that you think would be valuable? Or do you think that's just more, you know, just more information that isn't helpful? Rima, I see you raising your hand.
Well, I believe that taking time to discuss one topic at a time and will help. And I think it's a good idea because it will give everybody time to rethink, because right now on the spot, you know, my thoughts are piling up, but I can't really focus, right? But maybe in a couple of days, I will. And, you know, revisiting that topic, definitely, you know, I mean, I would be able to bring something to the table. And, you know, vice versa, I mean, for other members as well, right?
Yeah.
And before I forget, I was actually hoping to discuss one very important issue from our clients that's seeking help finding a perfect nanny. As you probably guys know, how difficult sometimes it can be for agencies to match one family with ideal nanny. We've been receiving enormous amount of requests, not just a nanny, but as they call it, a next level nanny, who would be able to help their children educate them at home instead of school. As you're all aware, all the schools are closed and a reopening is questionable. Maybe some schools will reopen partially. However, the future is not that bright on this side. And in our community, at least in California, in Northern California, people are very much concerned about their children's education. So as I said, everybody's calling and asking, I don't need just a nanny who will be able to watch my child, but I would like to have a nanny who would be there on Zoom meetings, who would be able to participate in distance learning. And I was just hoping that maybe all of you guys have some ideas, especially those of you who work as a nanny right now. I was a nanny many years ago, and since I don't do it anymore, it is tough for me to imagine what it's like to be a nanny during this time, to walk into a house and, you know, start the day with children who are not properly schooled anymore.
Well, I'm going to just jump in real quick and then let other people speak too, but it's very interesting that is absolutely something that is needed. I mean, as a mom, that's where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm waiting for my school district to make a decision, but then my husband and I are going, what if they'd make this decision and that's not okay with me? So I'm in that boat right now too, of thinking that, and actually Laura, our president, is going to be doing a webinar August 1st. We don't have the information out there yet because I'm still trying to get all of the details, but she's going to be working on a webinar with her daughter, who has a master's in, she can tell you what she has a master's in, and then Heidi Jolene, who is our 2019 Nanny of the Year, working on that exact topic, discussing how nannies can be that support for families who are choosing to keep their kids home and do virtual learning, or have to because the district is that, but like how nannies can be a part of that greater support. Laura, I don't know if you're at a place where you can share it all about that, if you would, and what your plans are. I know they're still in the works, and you might not be in a place where you can do that. If you're trying to talk, you're muted. Oh, now you're unmuted. Okay. You there? Laura, you there? Hello? You're unmuted now. But it's not working. Well, maybe I know she's traveling right now onto vacation, but does anybody else have any thoughts on that real quick? I don't want to get too deep into that specific conversation, but it is an incredibly important discussion right now for where we are in the world, for sure.
I can tell you what they're doing in the UK. I mean, basically, our kids went back to school. So we're completely different like you guys in the US. Our children went back. My older two went back for 2 weeks before the end of summer term. They are due back on September the 3rd. Our government has said that all children will be going back to school, and those that don't will be fined for not going back. There is no exception for keeping your children at home. But in the UK, we do homeschool, and that is a role for either a governess or a tutor, if we're going to keep labelling all these different professions. And I think the problem is we're getting so caught up with what is a nanny and what is a governess, what is a mother's help, what is this, what is that, what is this. And I know in the UK, where obviously we're the home of the nannies, it's very different to what happens in the US. But I think we've got to stop labelling everybody. And it's basically a nanny is a nanny, a governess is a governess, and a tutor is somebody who tutors children for schoolwork. And that is just what's happening in the UK.
Interesting. Okay, so if Laura makes her way back on, she actually jumped off. I think she may be trying to call back in to see if that works. But we can go back to this topic. Any other topics that you guys wanted to throw out there as ideas for the future, specifically for the town hall? But our education committee always loves new ideas too. So feel free to throw it out there.
I wanted to piggyback on what you suggested about the committee leaders and the board leaders, because I don't necessarily understand the roles. So it would really be beneficial if those can be topics. Like
so each individually have a topic. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of explaining their roles and how they got into those roles, and what the benefits to us as members, and even how the other roles are filled. I forget what they were called, moderators and things like that.
Okay, moderators for the webinars and that, is that what you mean?
Well, no, pretty much the gamut of the conferences and things like that.
Sure.
And, yeah.
So having, if we had conference as a topic, we could explain to you like how we make decisions about what speakers we have, how we make decisions about food, how we make decisions about where we're going, that kind of stuff.
That too, that would be beneficial too, but I was mainly thinking about the individual roles that you guys introduced in the beginning.
Okay. So the people that we introduced in the beginning were the board of directors, and we can just kind of share with you right now how you become a board member.
No, thank you.
Oh, you don't want to right now? Okay.
No, not right now. I want to give everybody else a chance to.
I can certainly send you. I can make a note to send you. We do have some information on our website too.
Okay.
That, you know what I mean? It will just kind of give you a overview right now, but I think that's a good idea. And Laura just joined us again. Laura, are we able to hear you now? Laura.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, there she is.
I'm driving through the mountains, so I occasionally lose my signal. Yes, if you want to hear about the webinar, I'm sorry, you probably moved on from that now.
That's okay. I said we could come back to it.
Okay. Yes, it's going to be just about education in this new COVID era. And my daughter, who is a licensed teacher, she has her master's in special education, but she does virtual teaching. And so she is going to talk about how we can best assist students who are going to be learning virtually. And then we have Heidi Jolene, who does curriculum and homeschool kind of teaching. So she's going to be talking about that. And I'm going to be talking about the laws and the terminology around what nannies can do legally as far as teaching and homeschooling and all of that. So we're going to be just.
Excellent. Thanks, Laura. I think she may have gone behind another mountain. Okay, so any other topics out there that you guys have ideas for?
I just have one more, and then I have to go because I'm at the pool with my daughter.
Oh, fun.
So I think it would be nice to have a like an informal session about when to terminate a family. I think a lot of nannies, I know that we struggle in our agency kind of letting go of families and when it's appropriate and inappropriate to start termination and leaving families and going to families, and seeing people's like their thoughts on what they do once they leave once they're either, you know, removed by the parents or they remove themselves, because it's crazy not to think that termination doesn't happen in this profession. And like, what are the best ways, the do's and don'ts of termination would be nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. And enjoy.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me, and I'm looking forward to the next webinar and trainings and everything.
Yeah, we've got a couple of good webinars coming up.
Sade,
okay.
Before you go, can I ask you what's the name of your agency again?
It's called Salah Respite. It's going to be S-E-L-A-H. Salah is in the book of Psalms in the Bible, and it means break or pause. So what we do is we just give parents that have difficult children with disabilities, we give them a break and a pause. So that's our claim to fame. And our website is just Salah Respite. Respite is RESPITE.com.
And I'm going to I'll reach out to you.
I'd like to add on to that topic, Marcia, as she was talking about that, I was thinking, you know, that as far as a discussion between both nannies and agency owners about, you know, when it's time for, you know, as we're coaching families through the process, when it's time to let a nanny go. And then also a nanny knowing how to leave a job in a respectful way that might still give them a reference moving forward. In that conversation, I think it's important for agency owners and nannies, and it could be a collaborative conversation.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. I will be praying for all of you during this COVID-19 crisis. Have a great day, okay?
You too. Have fun.
Bye.
Enjoy your pool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other topics, ideas out there that you guys would like to see discussed in the future?
Yes, Marcia, this is Nancy from Nancy's Nannies. You know, back in the old days, I used to always look for press releases, and now it seems to all be content information for social media. I'd love to see some content information from the INA that I could share on social media. And that could be on any topic at all related to nannies and childcare and education and just any kind of topic generated from the INA, I think would be valuable for agencies to be able to share.
Okay. So so additional more content is what you're kind of looking for, not necessarily as a topic to discuss at a town hall or in education, but just that's kind of something that you're looking for from the INA.
Yes. Yes.
More information. Normally, just as an FYI, normally our press releases are, we send those out to media regarding our awards and things, but we do have a blog, or what we call currently a weekly brief, that we send out original content. Probably not nearly as much as we should and need to, but I would recommend you look at our website and that too. And of course, in the social media world, that's where it goes to. Most of our content is there, but I think all of board members would probably echo our desire to have more original content in there. So how as a board, or as a agency member, could we get that to you so that you see it better?
I'm not sure. Maybe if it comes out through one of the platforms that can be shared or retweeted.
Okay.
I'm not sure how is best to approach. I don't know if it's best to send it directly to the agencies in an email that they could then kind of personalize and
Are you meaning
send
like
out.
Are you meaning like having some informational like tools that you would like pass on to families you work with, and it's like a PDF file that you are sharing? Is that what you're meaning?
That would be helpful too. I'm just always looking for content to share, and if I could share stuff that has come from the INA, you know, as a professional organization and as a member of that professional organization, I think that gives it a lot of credibility.
Nancy, I'm gonna share some of the blog posts that we've done recently with you.
Okay.
To kind of share with what you're doing, and there is a way to sign up to get our blog posts, to subscribe to our blog. So a couple hours after we post it, it would go to your inbox. But we do share that on social media as well. We use mainly Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
We don't use Twitter as much because it hasn't really been as effective for us, but I definitely encourage you to look at that. But I will share a couple of the blog posts that we've had original content. Like I said, we do some of that. We try to do as much as we can. And we're always, if anyone out there is listening, we're always welcome people to submit content for that as well. That's done via a form, which I could probably put in the chat bar if anybody's interested. But Nancy, I will send you a couple of our blogs so that you can kind of see it and see if that's kind of what you're looking for, if maybe you just haven't seen it, or if there's something, you know, if it's something more that you're looking for.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Was somebody else saying something?
Hi. Can I would like to see, I don't know, webinar or something about if we can have something like the day of a nanny in Zurich or in New York and all the different parts of the world, because I think it's really important to see the similarities in different countries and the difference. And I think it will be really nice to see how a nanny in Nigeria or in Zurich or in the UK is different from the New York life, or even in the United States is nanny in New York is different to nanny in LA or something like that. And I think it will be really interesting to see the difference and the similarities.
I love that idea. I like that idea of like understanding the different day of the nanny. Emily, were you raising your hand?
Yes, I was. I was going to ask Meeches. Meeches, are you talking like having a featured like nanny of the month, of the week, or whatever like that too, so you can get to know them a bit more personally? Or are you talking about like a town hall with that?
I think it can be both things, because I think it will be really nice to have a lot of different nannies from around the world sitting in the town hall like this and talking like, oh, see, that happened to me. Oh, that happened to me too. And we're in across the world seeing to each other, because sometimes so many nannies says, oh, that's just happened to me. And when you sit and listen to the other people, it's not just me. It's everyone else having the same things, you know. And then I think it will be good to like they support each other, like knowing that it's not just you. It happened that to you.
Make our big world a little smaller.
Yeah, and under the umbrella of the INA. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I like it.
I love the idea of like meet a member, you know, and just for no other reason but that it's a member from a different part of the world or the country, or, you know, and just highlighting them just because they're a member and getting to know them. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm. All right, other ideas out there?
Hi, can I talk?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. No, it just sounds like from all the stuff you've been talking about, it sounds like you're getting a structure, a possible structure for each town hall. I mean, I don't know how you've done them in the past since this is my first one, but it sounds like you could have, you know, if it's really an hour and a half is the time you have allotted, you could have, you know, a short feature part of, you know, information about a board member could talk about what they do, or you could have, you know, in a different month, you could have, you know, featuring a committee and then have a little bit about that, and people could ask questions if they want to, the same way they could ask, you know, if the board members featured, and then you could have feature about meet one of the nannies, and they can describe, and again, people could even ask questions if they wanted to. Not taking up a lot of time, but just having like different feature each month in the town hall. And then aside from that, featuring 1 or 2 topics that people have brought up that you think might be beneficial for everyone to listen to and learn about, but not to the extent of a webinar. And then and then just for me, like if it's once a month, I would want some sort of feature on current events. Like now, obviously because of the pandemic, that's a huge thing. But like current events that impact the nanny industry, and and maybe people either asking questions or raising possible topics for future town halls. But it sounds like you're getting a structure from all the things that people are bringing up to at least be part or featured in each town hall, to kind of give it structure. That's what it seems like. That's what I'm hearing from all different people, and all that sounds. I love the idea of sort of meet a nanny from and just the short sort of it's great for networking, and it's great for information, and it's great for feeling of connection. Whether you learn something new about a particular nanny in area, or whether you feel that camaraderie with a nanny from a very different situation. So anyway.
So I think I see what you're saying. Like you could have, instead of just one topic for an entire hour and a half, you have sort of it broken down into different times. Like we have 10 minutes where a board member introduces themselves and explains like what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they got there, that kind of thing. And then maybe we meet another member from somewhere else in the world.
Or another month, or another time it's committee of the month, and you get to learn a little bit about what a certain committee does, and and questions, and so you get information, you learn a little bit, but it's not taking up the whole time. It's not a big discussion, but just kind of a little feature to, I don't know, just as part of each town hall.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. I like that idea. Anna, I see your hand raised.
Thank you. I don't. It's just very quick, because I don't want the other person not to have opportunity also to talk. But I would love to have in our private group, I would love to have more discussions and more polls that, for instance, we members are able to kind of have an opinion or have a agreement on the things more the board is deciding. I mean, a opinion from the members. It does not mean that we will decide for the board. It doesn't mean that, but I think we would like to know more what is going on in the board, what is being discussed, what is the ideas that you are having there, and if we members like it or not. It could be just simple polls like, we are thinking about this, you like it, yes or no? And also you would have a sense of what the members really like, for you not to be working in vain, in certain things, or maybe other things. It could have a pre-idea for you to work more on certain topics that we really love, and probably because we were never asked, and and maybe you don't know also that we like it. If possible, I would like to have more discussions in the private group and more polls. Thank you. Sorry.
I think that's a good idea. Emily has something to say about that.
Well, I have a question for the members that are here. How well do you guys know about the committees, how they run? Is there a huge interest in knowing how they run and what they're up to every week? Like, is this something you would like to know more about and us to break it down? And if so, how would you like that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was asking when I suggested that. That's kind of exactly what I was asking, for the simple reason that I don't know what these roles are. And I will take your advice of going on the website and kind of getting some information from there too, but to actually hear from the actual board member something prepared that would help us better understand what the roles are. Because I think that would help us to maybe have an idea of what we're really actually getting from you guys. And even preparing from year to year, those roles, I hear sometimes that there's voting going on and things like that. And I don't really understand the process of, I guess, who's voting and, you know, why we're voting on these particular positions and the whole process. So yes, to what you said, Emily.
Well, even as a new board member, I didn't, and I've been coming around and doing certain things. I didn't know how it all worked until I came on. And so I was like, well, if I didn't know about a lot of things, I know a lot of members don't, and I didn't see the value of it myself. I was like, what does it mean? Like, what am I getting out of this? What is this process? And what is also the best method of telling it to everyone? Is it a town hall? Is it on Facebook? Is it email blast? What's y'all's preferred method of communication? I think is another thing.
And I've read about them, and you know, and I know I've gone to the website and INA and I've read about them, but for me, what would help is some person, you know, personally, because to me it's just a little more interactive and it's just a little more personal. Like if you featured it in a town hall or something, I don't do Facebook, so, but that's just me. But I'm just saying, if you feature it each little bit, then it's not overwhelming. It's not super involved. It's not super long, but then people can ask questions. You've got a real person who's actually really doing that committee or really a board member, you know, and you can kind of see what they do. It just, to me, it makes it more alive, you know, and more real than if I read the, you know, what the intention of it is in the website and that sort of thing. That's all good. That's good information. But when I hear somebody talking about it and see what they actually do and how much time it actually involves and what they, you know, what they've learned or whatever about being a nanny or being part of that committee or whatever, then it helps me a lot. When I heard Jacqueline talk about that, I said, I really agreed with what she was saying. And I love Meech's idea about the meet a nanny from different places too.
Can I chime in really quick?
Yeah.
So, Kate Mativich here. Sorry, again, I'm not on video, I'm out. But I just wanted to let everyone know I'm not a board member, but I've attended several board meetings. And if you're ever truly interested in learning about what board members do firsthand, that's the best place to do it. There's a board meeting. Everyone got sent an email earlier this week, and there's a board meeting happening on the 18th. And if you want to learn about the different committees, different positions, and what they spend time doing, I highly recommend you join one of those. While it's absolutely appropriate to bring it into a town hall meeting, I think the most effective way to learn is sitting in on them. My first board meeting was several years ago. That's when I developed a proposal for the ambassador program and now brought chapters back through the ambassador program. But it was all because I sat in on a board meeting. And it's so important that everyone goes to the board meetings. While you can't say anything, you can contribute questions, and there is time at the end for you to speak. You know, and they'd certainly get back to you. But I would recommend to everybody to sit in on a board meeting as much as you can. This is our organization. You know, we're all members.
Hello, I would like to raise my hand.
Who said that? Sorry.
Hi, Mara.
Hi, Mara.
Hi. I would like to emphasize what Kate just said. Yes, first, the website has a lot of information. When I decided to join the diversity committee, I went to the website and read everything, all the links there, and it was very informative. And then also as Katie, as one of my first conference, I spent this Sunday many hours sitting on the floor because I was not on the board, but I want to learn what it's about, and was very informative as well. Then when our conference was canceled and they became virtual, I think the board meeting was open to the members. Was kind of tedious to spend 2 days sitting that I don't use as much of us as a nanny, sitting at the desk, but I spend the Saturday and Sunday listen to them, and was amazing. I love it. Wow. So much. And you can see the actual dynamics of the members interacting, the reports, you know, and oh my gosh. And just right now, I am also in vacation. I just wake up, sorry, because that I'm not on the video. I am so tired. And, but it's so wonderful to listen to all of you. Rosales with this idea to meet other nannies is fantastic. And all of us together making ourselves better. I love that. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys. I love these ideas. I mean, I can only speak for myself and conversations that I've had with board members, but I know we have a really great desire to get this information out there. And sometimes we think that we're explaining it because we understand it, and we think that, you know, explaining it in one place and one way does the job. But we do have to recognize that everybody learns in different ways. Some people want to have it on paper. Some people want to have it on, you know, social media. Some people want to have it in their email. Some people want to be told it. Some people want to look through a website. So I think that these are all really great ideas for us to understand. Everybody looks at it differently, and we are going to continue to do the best that we can with getting the information out there in as many ways as possible. But I also hope everybody knows, if you ever have questions, you can reach out to us. I know that I can speak for Julie and I, who are in the office. We do our best to respond to everybody really quickly within, you know, business hours and that. And if you're a member and you're on the member Facebook group, that's a great way to get a lot of good information too. So you know, I totally am excited about all these different ideas. I think I see it in the board members' faces that I can see, and some of these little ideas percolating in their head too. And please, you know, continue if you have anything else to say. I did want to just kind of move on to the timing of a town hall, because it seems like such a simple discussion, but it is something that we want to be able to not only provide town halls monthly, but provide them at different times that are going to work for people all over the world, but then all over the industry. So we have a lot of our businesses who prefer to work in the middle of the day, to have town halls in the middle of the day, to have webinars even in the middle of the day. And then, you know, I would say a majority of our nannies prefer to have them in the evenings when they're off of work. We just kind of want to get an idea of what, you know, we're not going to have them all at the same time. As, even though consistency wise, that would make us in the office a little less insane, but we want to be able to meet the needs of as many people as possible. So can I just kind of get like a poll? Do you just kind of let me know when you prefer to have them? And again, I'm just going to go down. I'm going to go down the row here. I know we've lost a couple people, but Jacqueline, when is your preferred time to have these kind of events?
Actually, any time is good for me, as long as it's not in the middle of the night, like you mentioned. But any day of the week works for me, so I don't have a preference as far as day. Weekend or weekdays always work for me. I'm very flexible.
Okay. And I'm going to skip our board members because you get to have an opinion when we actually talk about it. Metis?
Well, for me, in the evening or during the weekend, for the people that works, that would be better. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Can you tell me how you pronounce your name? Thaughey?
That's my first initial, just T for Teresa.
Okay.
Last name, Haugey. It's just pronounced
Teresa.
Hoy,
Okay. I was like, I don't think this is her name, but I don't know.
No, it's a T. It's T Hoy, but Hoy that doesn't look like it's pronounced. It's just
okay,
like rhymes with boy, last name. You know, I mean, for me personally, because I work full time during the week, it's evenings or weekend, but I understand what you're saying, and I agree with that. I feel like you want to try to meet as many needs as you can. So I'm fine with whatever time, and I'll try to make it work. I think that you should be trying to figure out how to help it be available to the maximum number of people possible, at different times. So.
Well, and we are going to record these. We're going to continue to record these. So, they're available afterwards, but there is, you get a lot more out of it when you're here and you're able to invest and share your opinion too. So we want to try to hit as many people as we can. Anna, how about you?
For me, this hour, it would be perfect. On weekends, anytime, and anytime. Not in the middle of the night, like Jacqueline said.
Yeah, it's no fun to have to wake up there.
When it falls really very early or in the middle of the night, I will let you know. So in the office, when it's really, but usually it's also the UK hour more or less. So when it's really early.
Like I said, we're gonna move it all around, and there will be some in the middle of the night for those of us in the US, and some in the middle of the night for people in Europe.
I totally understand.
But hopefully
no problem.
it'll be better balanced. We're going to try to find more of a balance. I know in our previous town halls, when we only had it like 4 or 5 times a year, we do 2 US focused and then 1 in Australia focused and 1 in Europe focused. But since we're doing more of them, we're going to be able to accommodate more. Sherry, did you have any thoughts on that?
I think similar to like what Meche said, I work full time. I'm in the West Coast in California. And so I would say weekday evenings or Saturdays are really best for me. I try to take a break from technology on Sundays. So actually Sundays I probably wouldn't be able to, but I do really appreciate also that you're recording them. I'm happy to be here live today, this morning. But I do think that it's really great to have it recorded. I see the YouTube posts, like when they go on there. I've been subscribed to the YouTube channel, so I think that's really helpful to be able to see it later if it's not at a convenient time, because it is an international association. So I think it's almost an impossible question to like, what's the perfect time for everyone, right?
Yes. Can't please everybody. We're going to try to, at some point, please everybody, and at some point, make everyone else mad. That's how it works, right? Lisa?
I'm flexible. Honestly, during the day or evenings, except on Sundays.
Okay.
Any other day I'm very flexible.
Okay. Donna?
I would say evenings or weekends are best.
Okay. Kate?
I mean, I kind of sided with what Cherie says. I mean, this is an international organization, so they're never going to always be on, everyone's ideal timing. So my advice to everyone would just be, join when you can, follow up with the recordings when you can, and, we'll try to see how that goes. But I really like, I was up at 4 a.m. on a Thursday for our last one, and I really like that we're helping to cater to our international, membership. I think it's really important.
Yeah. Rima?
I do have some flexibility, though weekends are probably better. We get sometimes way too busy, so weekends works for me.
Okay. Daniel?
Whenever. I'm in LA, Pacific, so as long as it's not the middle of the night, I'll just hop in whenever and wherever, like Saturday morning.
Okay. Mara, I think that sent a message, and I know we're having sound issues with Hespa. She said later in the day, evenings. Susan?
This time is perfect. So, but again,
Okay.
I understand the flexibility for the international, so we'll adapt as necessary.
Okay, and then the other 2 were not able to speak either, but if you have any thoughts, feel free to either share in the chat bar or email us, memberservices@nanny.org, if you have any other thoughts on that. Thank you guys for sharing those thoughts. We have about 20 minutes right now. We don't have to take the entire time. If you guys need to move on, I don't want to keep anybody, but I don't have like anything else specific to discuss right now, other than whatever you guys might want to. I mean, within reason, we're not going to get into like a giant topic, I think, at this point. But any other thoughts? I see Jacqueline has her hand up.
Yeah, I have a question. So I just went to Facebook and I requested membership in the International Nanny Association member group. What is that group actually about, and is it something that you guys do frequently?
The member group is a Facebook group that is for current INA members. So I'm not 100% sure is your membership current right now? Okay.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, then what happens is once you answer those questions, we in the office kind of make sure that the person that's requesting is actually a member, and we let you in. And then we have discussions on there. People can answer. It's basically like any kind of support group. You can ask questions. You can respond to people. You can, get a little of advice here and there. We oftentimes will post things that are specifically only for members. Like right now we have a donor that actually has offered to pay for 10 childcare professional members who are struggling right now and can't afford to renew their membership. And so she is going to pick 10 people who apply for it simply. And so we posted that in only the membership group because, that's only members that are current or have lapsed in the last couple months are is that possible? What are some other things, guys? Help me. What are some other things? And we just have discussion there that's specifically for member groups. Oh, our Mentorship Monday. Thank you, Sue. It's probably like, say this. Mentorship Monday, which is actually coming up next Monday on the new normal, right?
Right. So once a month, we pick a topic. It's usually fairly nanny specific, but it doesn't have to be. I'm always open for any topics, and we want and encourage businesses, nannies, NCS, everybody. And we post a couple of questions for discussion on that topic. So sometimes it's something like, your resume, or like this one coming up is the new normal, like what things have changed in nannying in the last little bit. How are you doing? How can you prepare for the future? What's going on? Sometimes it's something more child specific. We've done things like picky eating or using positive discipline. It can be anything. And we try to use that as a way, just one more way that we can provide content to our members, because there's
like a discussion starter for the day,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so Sue comes up with some questions basically, and we post several images, and then everybody comments on those images, right?
Okay.
Sorry, Sue, if I interrupted you.
Thank you.
It's totally fine. And the member group is really more dynamic because the way that Facebook works, the INA like main page might not always give you up-to-date information in your Facebook feed. So if you are a member, you should definitely join that member Facebook group, because they also, Marsha and Julie are good about posting webinars, and they repost like the president's message and everything in there. And if you're in that group, it'll come up in your Facebook feed more often than just the regular page. So you'll get more of the updates and everything. It's good. If you're not, I'm glad that you joined, Jackie. That's awesome. And but if you're a current member and you're not in that group, you really should join, because it'll just help you stay in touch with us better. It comes up more often.
Well, and the other difference between the INA page is it's a public page, and only people who are admins of that page can actually post a comment that will show up in the thread. But in the member group, anyone can post a comment. Anyone is able to post a comment and then talk on it underneath there. So it's really a discussion place. Yeah. Any other questions? Comments? Feedback? Yeah, Emily's got some.
Another thing that the INA member group does is it shows you the process of voting for the board, for all these things. It shows you the process of that more hands-on versus the website. They give you step-by-step instructions for everything that's going on, and it's much more interactive on stuff like that, so that you know how to apply to be a board member, what the criteria is, all of that. And they post that content on the INA member group. And it's very informative for stuff like that too. It shows you some of the inner workings.
Excellent. Oh, Helen has something.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about what we do for committees and that. I run the service pin committee, and
Yes.
just remind everybody that we've opened it up to twice a year now. It used to be you could only apply for your service pin if you were coming to conference. So that took away it from most of our members, because not everybody comes to conference. So we decided to let anybody apply for them, but you have to apply for them in certain things. So if you go onto the website, you'll find the service pin, click on it and apply for your service pin. Depending on how long you've been in the industry, they start at 5 years and they go up in 5s. And the closing date is the 15th of July for the next round.
It's Wednesday. Yeah, thank you, Helen. I was going to ask you to share that. The other thing, we have a couple other things that are coming up too. We have a really awesome webinar, and Ruka's not on today, but Sue has actually worked with this. Would you just talk about the webinar that we have coming up next Wednesday?
Sure. So given the events of what's going on right now, INA wanted to provide some content and some discussion and training about diversity topics. We feel like it's important that we have these conversations. And so we're kicking off a series that is sponsored by Adventure Nannies of at least 6, hopefully more, webinars on this topic. Our first one is coming up next week, and it is the vocabulary of diversity.
Anti-racism.
Anti-racism.
Yeah.
And we're basically we have a wonderful facilitator, Judy Blair, who's gonna have a conversation with Ruka, who's one of our board members, and they're gonna sort of talk about what certain things mean. What is white supremacy? What is anti-racism? What does it mean to be an ally? What does BIPOC mean? Sort of getting us all on the same page as far as a lot of the terminology. And then we have a couple of other webinars that we'll be announcing soon that are gonna dive deeper into this topic. And as a person on the diversity committee, if you are interested in having a voice in that, we need you. So you can contact me or contact Marsha in the office. We're looking for blog posts. We're looking for people to help us schedule webinars. We're looking for any involvement at any level, even if it's just you have an opinion or an idea of something that you want us to dive deeper into. We're hoping to really get everybody involved in the conversation.
Thanks, Sue. Thank you for reminding me of this, because I said before that I would put in the chat bar the form that you can fill out if you want to submit a blog post. I'm going to do that. It's going to take me a second because
No problem. So, and if you have any idea ever, I'm going to vamp while you type.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping to do.
If you have any ideas for a blog post, currently we're looking obviously for topics on diversity. If you have something that you want to say with that, a personal story that you want to share, anything like that. But blog posts don't have to be anything too specific. It could just be your thoughts on something, or if you've done any training on something and you want to share, or what it means to be a nanny in New York City. It could be a day in your life. We always want blog posts on a big variety of things, and we'll help you with the editing. Like, don't worry if you're not a good writer. What's important is sharing your voice and your story. So feel free to submit a blog post. We'd love to hear from everybody.
So I also threw out there, in addition to how to submit a blog, I put out there the website that explains the service award pin. And I think I'm gonna throw out there if you guys want to be on the webinar that's coming up this Thursday. For businesses, actually, Apna has a webinar that same day, and I don't have the specifics, and unfortunately, Kelly is not on anymore to share with us. But they actually have one that's geared for businesses that day, and they do a really great job, you know, of their webinars too. Does anybody know for sure if it's actually open to the public or if that one is just for members?
It's open to the public, but you have to register for it.
Okay. Thank
It is,
you.
I believe, this Thursday.
It is.
Ruka is actually on it.
She's doing both. Yes.
Yeah.
They have
she's
a
on
busy
it.
Thursday.
Oh yeah. And then I wanted to add into to that because I'm also a co-chair on the diversity committee. That ultimately we also are looking to. We have a bit of grant money. I guess if you could call it that, sponsorship money is probably the better way, to have monthly webinars, particularly around anti-racism, anti-bias training right now. And so particularly, I think what would be most helpful for us is if you have speakers, particularly speakers who are Black or Hispanic, but men, women, just people who have something to share. It's not necessarily you know, sharing just like an opinion or feeling, but like a training, or even if it's just, I mean, not that we always have to talk about just those topics, but we really want to support and pay people for their labor, for bringing us some crucial training that we need in this moment. So thankfully, because of the sponsorship from Adventuring Needs, that we can do that. We have enough to cover webinars every month for until I think December, right?
Yeah, Sue had mentioned that we're going to do at least 6.
No, I heard.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to just, if you have suggestions of people, of trainers,
suggestions.
That's really what we really need to. We've been looking and talking with several people, so I would love that.
I see Anna's hand up. Sorry. Anna, did you want to say
Oh,
something?
thank you.
Thanks.
Just very quick, because I was very excited when I saw this diversity group forming, and I was a little bit worried, with all due respect, that it would be just something created for a racial thing. So we in Europe, we don't have so much this phenomenon as you have in the States. So for me, as an European, I would love to talk about that and learn more what is going on there in the States about this topic. And also, I would like the diversity also focus on different backgrounds from nannies, like nannies coming in the profession without any kind of training, without any kind of a doctor or diplomas, and how they can grow in the profession and become more trained, like they don't need to feel shame to not have any diplomas. Also, I'd like, if possible, the nannies who don't have a business, because also in Europe, we are not so focused in having a business, for instance. This kind of diversities, not just racial, but a lot focus on us nannies, what we need really to deal in the real life, in our daily life. And, you know, so this diversity can be something really amazing. And I really hope that if I can send some ideas to know a little bit, this would be a perfect topic to talk in the private group, for instance, that with who can we talk to send ideas, to send suggestions, because also sometimes we don't have time, Marcia, you know, it's too much happening. I mean, it maybe seem a little bit like a contradiction, like everybody's in the COVID and the life is slowed down, but sometimes it's not, because now we are focused more in our personal lives. We are the family and like this. So I would like to know with who I can talk and give ideas. Thank you. So sorry.
So as far as who you could talk to, specifically about what you said, Emily raised her hand. Did you have something to say about that? Okay. I was going to say, why don't we connect you with the diversity committee board members? There's like 5 people on the board that are actually on the diversity committee, and they kind of share the role at this point. So why don't I connect you via email? I'll send an email with you so that you can kind of share your thoughts specifically to them. And then, I mean, I think that we'd probably be open to having more people on the diversity committee. I guess I can't speak, but I think that we're always willing to have more people on it. We have about 14 people right now. So if somebody's interested in joining that committee, I know a couple of you on here are on it too. Mara's on it. You know, a couple board members, but if you're interested in that, we meet monthly. I can't remember when the next meeting is right now off the top of my head, but Danielle's on it. Danielle's on it. So anyways, but I will connect you guys. Any other questions before we start kind of packing up? Emily, you did have something. Yes.
I did, but I wasn't going to interrupt you. Can we put a link to the Facebook group here also so that members that are not on it can get that link very quickly? Thank you so much.
Yep. Somebody else vamp while I do that. Somebody else talk while I do that.
Greta, I just want to say it's just been awesome to see all your faces, and this is the first time we've done town hall like this, and I love it. Actually, I was like really like, what's this going to be like? Like, I was just unsure, but it's just been great to see facial expressions and hear passion and tone. So just thank you everyone for joining and sharing and being involved and asking questions. It's been great. I'm excited.
And I just want to say too that if you have an interest in anything that we're doing, you don't have to be a board member to help us do things. And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have, that it takes a lot of time. There are jobs, like you can be on the diversity committee and give us an hour a month just to share your opinion. And there may be more that you are asked to do and you can say yes or no, but every committee would be happy to have more involvement. So if you listen to us talk about this, and even if you don't know exactly what it means to be involved, just, you know, volunteer. And if it's, you know, that you are interested in working with other nannies or working with other businesses or whatever, there's more work than we have time to do. So we could use any hands.
Or just feel free to ask us if you don't know, like if you're like searching for something to do, like just go around to the different committee chairs and ask them like, hey, what does your committee consist of? I'm interested in helping, but this is my area of expertise, and we can help you out also. It doesn't have to be our committee either.
Yeah. I was going to say too, I just want to add, Kate had mentioned the INA board meeting, which is next the 18th, a week from today. And if you are a current member, current members can listen in onto that conversation. Sorry, I lost everybody. Was clicking around looking at for something. You're welcome to join that. You just need to reach out to memberservices@nanny.org and we will get you registered for that. We don't have like a specific link. We'll get you hooked up, but we obviously need to confirm that you're a member because it is for members. But the rules are basically that you can listen in and you just are not able to, it sounds horrible, but you're just not able to talk at free will. Like if you have a question, you can message, but this specific board meeting is a shorter one, so we got to keep going and we have a lot to discuss too. So, but any board member can listen in, and like Kate said, it is enlightening to hear about that and to see what goes on, to understand it a little bit better, and kind of put your toe in the water as far as that goes. What else was I going to do? I was going to send a, sorry, I have a little child about to say something to me. Hang on a second.
Thanks so much, everybody, for coming today, too. Saturdays are precious, we know.
Sorry, guys. They did so good for an hour and a half, not bugging me. So he was like, my phone is going to die. I was going to post something else, but now I can't remember what it was. Somebody help me.
It's okay. If you have questions, you should just reach out to Marcia through Facebook or email, through the website. Send us carrier pigeon. Somehow it'll get to us.
That was what I was going to say. For those of you listening to this, I am going to post the links that we put in the thread for you so that you can, you can see those things that we discussed. Because once we post this onto YouTube, obviously the chat won't be there, but we'll try to give everybody the information too. So anyways, that is our time. Thank you all so much for being here, for spending an hour and a half with us on a Saturday or afternoon or evening, whatever it was for you. I really enjoyed getting to see your faces too. I echo what Greta said. It was really nice. And we will be posting information about when our next one is. And I definitely encourage you to check out the webinar and check out the other stuff that we talked about. So anyways, thanks very much. Bye.